Yes. Firstly, I would like to recognize the presence of our Club Growth Director of District 92, Distinguished Toastmaster Bidyut Datta. Thank you, Bidyut, for putting this together for us, and a warm welcome to our special guest, our speaker for the workshop, our workshop organizer, Distinguished Toastmaster Vanitha Rangarajan. Hi, Vanitha. Thank you so much. And I would also like to recognize the presence of each and every district officer of our District 92 family, all our wonderful division directors and area directors. I've been a little rusty. I've got back into the district team after a couple of years break. So please forgive me if I don't recognize all the faces, but I do recognize the commitment with which you have all joined on a Sunday afternoon. So that too on a Friendship Day. So I think this calls for a huge round of applause, and also warm welcome to all the wonderful members of District 92. I think Vanitha and Bidyut, it's safe to say that they are our growth enablers. So it's very nice to see the members also, along with the district officers who have joined voluntarily. That is the important aspect. Bidyut, are we good to start? I would want you to kickstart before which I can take over and then introduce our guest and set the context. Over to you, Bidyut.
Yes, Varun, we can definitely start. Thank you so much, Vanitha, for taking out time and giving your consent to conduct this workshop for all the district officers. And not only the district officers, I think this is something very special because we have extended the invite for the Club Growth Workshop to the club sponsors and the CGD team members of all the area and the division teams as well, who play a very integral role in terms of the club building initiatives across the district. So thank you so much once again, and I'm looking forward and I am as excited as everyone else to be a part of this wonderful workshop. Over to you, Varun.
Thank you so much, Bidyut. It's always nice, to be part of this servant leadership team, which is truly demonstrated here. Before I hand it over to the one and only Distinguished Toastmaster Vanitha, I would just want to set up some context for all of you. So the main reason of this workshop is, I think, to initiate that mindset which is required for our for chartering clubs, for identifying leads. It is, I would like to say that I just want to say that each lead is very important, and as they say, you require a village to raise a baby. I think you require more than a district to probably raise a club. First of all, identify a club and then convert it into a lead, and then everything else in between. So to take this, and also please note that this will be a highly interactive workshop. DTM Vanitha will. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I know there is some kind of there is a slight fatigue because I was part of a lengthy rendezvous meet. Okay, thank you so much, whoever identified. It is Club Extension Manager now. Okay, so I want to tell you that DTM Vanitha will take us through the entire process of right from generating a lead to chartering a club. Everything from the sponsors, mentors, everything from filling of forms, demo meets, and thereafter. So this is going to be one blockbuster of a club growth workshop. And of course, as they say, Naam to suna hi hoga, but it is definitely my privilege and honor to be introducing her. She is renowned for her exceptional leadership skills and currently holds a senior leadership position at a dynamic global startup in the realm of Toastmasters. She has always shined as a leader and an inspiration for several of us. I think she's one of the first few leaders I just saw and I immediately looked up to when I joined in 2015. So she has been the past district director of our sister district, District 121. And she has also achieved top rankings in distinguished clubs and club extension worldwide. She also has won the Triple Crown 6 times and currently holds membership in 2 President Distinguished Clubs, that is We Speak Toastmasters and We Are Advanced. Most importantly, as Samana said, you have to keep the main thing as the main thing. When she was CGD with Distinguished Toastmasters, Agnik Biswas, our past district director, District 92 was #1 in club extension in the whole world. And I don't need to remind you that District 92 is currently the world #1 district, right? So I think this is a lot of factors in play. And now I hand it over to Distinguished Toastmaster Vanitha Rangarajan Jha for a scintillating club growth workshop. Over to you, Vanitha. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Distinguished Toastmaster Varun. All right, I want to say hi to everyone here, but I'm just going to say hi to Deepak, Rajeshwari, Kavi Arasu, Sahana, Om, Ritika, Bidyut, Sandeep. You're getting the drill, right? I mean, I logged in here to look at District 92 and I'm seeing names on Zoom, and that is not what I signed up for as a trainer. So show me some love, show District 92 some love, show Club Growth some love, and come on video. Yes, you are allowed to take breaks because this is going to be like a super long session. Okay, Mr. PQD, I see you too. Thank you for joining in. This is going to be a long session. It is going to be overwhelming. These are things that I want to tell you right in the beginning. So the one thing that will save you is a recording of the Zoom, which I already see is in progress. So if you feel overwhelmed at some point and you're thinking, oh my God, this is just too much to note down. What did I even do signing up to become a district officer during this term or anything like that? Remember, the one other thing that can rescue you is a bottle of water around. So stay hydrated during the next couple of hours or a little less than that. Now, before we get here, I understand that we have a varied audience. So it's not just district officers. We have folks who want to be a part of club growth in some capacity. It could be an extended team member. It could be a district officer like all of us were initially invited. It could just be anyone that is interested in growing District 92. Now, this year, more than any year, there is so much pressure on us. Is that correct? Rishabh and his team has done the unthinkable. We have been able to get to world ranking #1. And so keeping at it, I'm not even saying surpassing it, just keeping at it is going to be a lot. And so we require every single one of us to commit to that kind of growth in this coming year as well. If you are ready for whatever I just told you, that we will continue to keep District 92 at #1, give me a heart symbol just so that I know all of you are comfortable with Zoom emoticons. Okay. I want all the 8 district division directors to ping your names on chat if you are available. I can only see one of you on video, but I want to know if the other district division directors, this is only for division directors. Okay, all right, quickly, I'm seeing everybody, just ping your names. I know who you are, which division and all of that. I just want to know if you're in the meeting. Now, let me ask someone who's a first-time area director. Obviously, you'll do it once mostly. One area director to tell me what the district mission is. Unmute, but do not answer. Put your Zoom hand and then I will ask you. District mission, that's all. Finish DOTP, no? Okay, Zoom hands, anyone? All right, Sai, what is the district mission?
Hello.
Yes, Sai.
Yeah, the district mission is to create new clubs and support them.
Okay, support what? Those clubs doing what?
Support them in achieving excellence.
Excellent. All right. Okay. So today's session is going to be about the first part of what our district mission is, which means half your term. Half of what you are expected to do as district officers is literally what you're going to get out of the session. So it's going to be a lot. There is no need to take notes at all, but I do want your undivided attention, even if that means making your tea, coffee during your Sunday afternoon, if you're traveling somewhere or whatever, just try and observe as much as you can. There is a presentation that I made mostly just to impress Bidyut, but that will be shared to everyone as well. And we will make sure that you get that presentation. It will have speaker notes. So pretty much everything that is there will be covered. But you will have to keep in mind that the more you participate in today's meeting, the more you will get out of that. All right. So make your Sunday afternoon worth it. I could have been Netflix binging something really nice, but I'm here for club growth for District 92. So I hope you can commit to that. Now, the first thing I wanted to ask was, so for this activity, I'd like all of you to come on video, but that's not going to be possible. Let's do raising the hand, okay? Raise your hand if you have never been a part of a demo meeting. You have absolutely no idea what a demo meeting is. I have not taken up a single role also. I am not a district officer. Okay, wait, I'm giving you more options. So raise your hand if you're one of those, okay? You have absolute no idea what happens in a demo meeting. What is even club charter? What is this big deal about extension? Why is Bidyut torturing us? I have no idea about club extension. Varun is like some extension manager and all that. I have no idea about all that. But I am a district officer. So of all the people who raised your hand, is any one of you a district officer? If you're a district officer, you have to automatically raise down your hand because I will personally come to your place and lower that hand of yours. All right. So I'm assuming, so there are like about 3 people who've raised their hands who have no idea about extension at all. Let me tell you why I asked you this question. Those 3 people will find it the easiest in today's session because there is absolutely nothing for you to unlearn or relearn. Everyone else, if you're having a certain idea about generating leads, if you're having a certain idea about this is exactly what we should do at a demo meeting, this is the role of a mentor or anything like that. If you have a certain idea, I want you to look at that idea again when we're going through this meeting and see whether is there something different that you thought it was, and now I'm breaking the myth for you. So that's just the heads up for all of you. There are a lot of things that we did differently, but times changed when the pandemic hit the world. And so club growth, along with the pandemic, has evolved as well. Now, because I had a presentation and I had to show off a little bit, our presentation for today is Connect, Grow, Develop. That's pretty much your CGD's hashtag. So I just made it a point. All of you remember why we signed up here for this meeting. That's literally just to ensure that we are all connected together, we grow together as one district, and we develop all our leadership skills along with club extension. Now, a couple of things that I wanted you to remember here, and this is the focus of today's workshop, is that we build new clubs and we support all clubs achieving excellence. Now, this year, we have been given the news that our membership dues is increasing. There is a good number of percentage of, I won't say the percentage yet because Bidyut will be very worried with that percentage. There are a good number of people who might lose membership just because they can't afford this. There might be a reason why you might see a drop in membership retention. All of those is not in your control. What is in your control is how many people can you bring newly to Toastmasters who are not worried about the $45 to $60 price difference. And so club extension seems to be the best idea for growth. Usually club retention would be easy because they already know Toastmasters. It's easier to convince them, but there might be like a slight little bit of pulling them back. And so club extension will be very easy for us when it comes to growth today in this program here. So this is exactly what we're going to be doing during the meeting. And this is what I want you to remember when we talk about club extension. Now we will go through each of these stages. And if you thought it's a single person's presentation, well, hello to the workshop. No, we are going to do a lot of brainstorming. So a lot of people's input and just wanting to see what everyone wants to contribute. These are the various steps in club extension that we will be discussing today. It starts with generating leads. How do you make the initial contact? What is called as an introductory meeting, a demo meeting, the paperwork, where mentoring plays a part, and how we can give continued support to these new clubs that get chartered. Now, if you have a question at any point, I'd like for you to raise your Zoom hand. So I will stop right there. After every step of club charter, I will be taking questions. I will be inviting both the club growth director and the club extension manager to give their comments during the respective sessions. But in case you have anything in the meantime that's bothering you too much and you're thinking, will Vanita ever cover this? Then put it on the chat. So I'll make sure that it's a part of the workshop. The first step, and this is exactly where we're going to have everyone to contribute. The first step being lead generation. Now quickly unmute, come on video. So obviously this unmuting thing is only for those who are on video, okay? Those are my favorite people. Tell us what are the different ways in which you can think about getting new leads for Toastmasters. We don't have a club there, we can get a club there. What are the various ways in which you can achieve this? Quickly unmute. Let's get some chaos. Ritika, yes.
Yes. Yes, hi.
Okay.
So,
Satrajit, just give me 1 minute, please. I'm getting Ritika first.
Sure. One way, and I think the most easiest way, is to update your Instagram and update your WhatsApp status. Tell them we are looking for a Toastmasters club, and I'm sure from our contacts, one of them will respond to us and say, out of curiosity.
Okay, all right. So I am going to switch a little bit and rewind and remind you that we are not talking about joining an existing club. We are now talking about creating a whole new club. So you as district officers or extended PGD folks, now think about what are the different ways where you can find out where can I charter this new club. Now, Ritika, think back and tell me in the same Instagram and the same LinkedIn, what can I do differently that it can help me generate a lead? Now, let me go to Satya while Ritika is thinking about it. Satya.
Well, it would be pretty much start off with your contacts of people who are in different organizations. Find out if there is a club existing there. If there is no club, then maybe you can start off with them.
Fantastic. Satya, just so that I want a lot of responses, I'm cutting you right there. But literally, that is the very core of this lead generation. The people whom you know who are not associated with Toastmasters could be your very first bet. Bang on, point on that you brought that up. Satrajit, would you want to go next?
Yeah, so basically, I was thinking about your spreading your corporate contact. Like as a Toastmaster, one of the things that we learn is networking. So we can do that in our corporate world, see if any organization does not have a Toastmaster and have intended people. Definitely that's a starting point we can look forward to.
Excellent.
And now, also from a community perspective, if there are societies that we can start off with or any kind of area where there are socio-cultural communities, we can leverage them and talk to them.
Fantastic. Both the points are amazing. So residential communities, just large groups of people coming together, and we don't have Toastmasters there. That's a fantastic point. Now, the next ones who have raised your hand, if your points are the same as these two, then lower your hand right away. Do not come and tell me the same point. I'm looking for different sources of leads right now. Ritika, did you get something in your mind right now?
No, I wanted to go ahead and lower my hand now.
Okay, but Ritika, I'm looking at you adding one more point and saying where else we can generate leads. Could we have Sahana giving us an idea?
Yes. So one simple idea would be attending college fests, because in college fests we tend to meet a lot of students who are enthusiastic and finding out if they have a club or not. So we can take it forward.
Excellent idea of connecting to colleges during their big events. Fantastic. I will talk to you about connecting to students or whether you should connect to somebody else in just a bit, Sahana. But great thinking there. Deepak, would you like to tell me what is it that you have in mind?
Housing societies
Fantastic.
where at least 500 or 700 people are there. Not
Excellent.
like
So residential communities, large residential communities will do the trick. Prithvi? Quickly, hurry up.
Sorry, I'm just driving, so
Okay.
I have to just adjust my mic. So, couple of things. Introduction and awareness is very essential. As everyone has said, during corporates and other places and housing community you introduce, what people would also like to see is exhibition. So while we have introduced the Toastmasters concept, it is essential that we write some demo sessions and also showcase the benefits of it so that people understand what happens.
Okay, Prithvi, you just jumped like 4 steps in the process. Hang on. We'll come to it in half an hour or something. But right now we're only talking about the awareness. Where else can we generate these leads? So the first point that you mentioned.
Corporate inductions, we can do the awareness.
Okay.
In societies, there are a lot of these get-togethers that happen. We should create opportunities to actually ensure that people are able to know what Toastmasters is. And also, Toastmasters also extends to people who are or students as well. So even in societies, there are large opportunities for that as well.
Okay. Thank
That's
you
my
so
point.
much. All right.
So I'm
Fantastic.
driving, so my voice is maybe.
Your voice was just perfect. It's just that we couldn't see you, but I'm hoping as long as you're seeing the road, we are all good. Tejas, what's your addition to this?
Yeah, Anita, I have two. So one is creating awareness in high schools as well, because there are many people whom I spoke to and they wanted their children to learn as well. So Gavel clubs, we know they exist, and there also we can contact those schools and take a part. And the second is there are many fests happen for the literature and all, and especially there is something called Lahi Lahi community. Just giving an example in Bangalore. So they have the open mic forum and all, and many people are interested in public speaking and all. So there also we can create awareness when the small fests are there about Toastmasters.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Rajeshwari, that will be the last thing that you think about. So
just only one point here, Vanita, I would like to add, whether someone has said or what, I don't know. Because if you go on canvassing, people feel that you are also like some agents to join them to the club. But it is not like that. What I am doing is I am serving as a role model. I am not telling anybody I am a Toastmaster or anything like that. Whenever there is a gathering, I am a teacher. Whenever there is a function in my school, I take the roles in my school and I see a transformation in myself. After joining Toastmasters, since 2 years, I am the Toastmaster. Before what I was, now what I am. People are changing, seeing changes in me. And they are asking me how it happened. Through that, I am telling them it is Toastmasters.
all right, fantastic. Thank you for sharing that personal growth story. One thing I wanted, I realized that we might be a little amiss in why we are having this session. So I'm just going to go through like the basics of something before we get forward. Okay. Now, every single one of you, especially if you're a district officer, is a brand ambassador of Toastmasters International. Every single one of you, the moment you are appointed or elected as a division director or as a district officer, it is already automatically expected of you to do what Rajeshwari has just mentioned. Go and be that role model, make people ask about you, what is the transformation, and voice out in every opportunity possible that you pitch in Toastmasters as much as you can. All right, now that is 100% expected of you. Let's say it's in your roles and responsibilities that you are automatically a brand ambassador of the organization. But this is about where Toastmasters has never been served. You don't know Toastmasters here, and we are not talking a one-to-one member level. Now, a lot of us, when we gave ideas here, you are still talking about how do you bring that one member to an existing club. We are not discussing that in today's meeting. This is purely about where Toastmasters is not there in that college, in that corporate, in that in that residential community, where Toastmasters itself is not there, and you are going to start a whole new club. That is what you're going to focus. So when I talk to you about lead generation, you will not tell me individual people, how do you get them on board on Toastmasters, but you will talk about where can I ensure that a whole new setup of 20 plus members in Toastmasters, where can that come? Did I get that mindset set changed for you? We are going to now talk about adding new clubs and not adding new members. Adding new members is a given. When you charter, obviously 20 members are going to be added, but this is a club as a whole. Now, before we get to this thing, and I'd like Bidyut to show our District 92's dashboard. Okay, and I wanted to tell you why this is very important. Bidyut, while you take your time, and I know I'm just throwing this immediately at you, so you take your time and get this dashboard, district performance dashboard. A couple of things on why we're doing this. All right, I wanted you to know that until you were a district officer or until you were a part of the CGD exclusive team, there is a reason you've all taken up some roles in some capacity and you come here. It is totally okay that you are just a club member. You come in, your personal growth is everything that you need to do. But now there is a need for you to think about the organization. You are what Varun calls your growth leaders. You are the reason why Toastmasters International will grow. So it's no longer about you adding one member to your existing club or in your circle, but it is about how you can generate brand new clubs into District 92. So that mindset change about you in your earlier roles in Toastmasters as a club officer or as a member to right now being a part of this club growth extended workshop, and how you are very integral in ensuring that we have new clubs being generated is something that I wanted to highlight. Now, Bidyut, if you have that ready to share screen, fantastic. So if you look at this whole thing, the reason why we're bringing this up today is that in this session itself, we started with a base of 166 clubs in District 92. Okay, for us to get to where Rishabh and team has taken District 92, we need 175 clubs. We are going to be losing some clubs during the renewal. So give or take few clubs that are already not in our kitty. Every area director will know. You by now know which club you're struggling with because those club officers are not even coming for your COTPs. You know which clubs are on 8, just 8. Am I going to get them to become a paid club or not? You will know the real challenges with the existing clubs, which means every delta in every single area director's dashboard will have to come from growing new clubs. So the reason why I wanted you to just look at your dashboard once is this is the part, the paid clubs part is where you will be contributing to this. Now, while you do this really quickly, and I will talk about it like in a challenge that I'm going to give it to you at the end of the workshop, I will go back and I will ask you questions on its relevance to the payments. So be ready to answer those questions while I'm getting there. Any questions on why we are now talking about club growth instead of just adding new members here and there? Anybody has any concerns? You thought, Ari, I didn't sign up for this nonsense. Now I want to go back. Anybody like that? Anybody who thinks, no, I just wanted to do club officer role. I don't know what I'm doing here in a club growth workshop. No questions? Bidyu, thanks for sharing that. Okay, let me go back to lead generation and just talk to you a little bit about things that we can do together. Now, there are leads that will come in from the club growth director's office, where this will be when someone around the world will ping Toastmasters International and go to find the club. And then they will say, hey, you know what? I'm not able to find a club here. Can I have can I just find out about club leads to this particular place? And so it will come to what is called as the lead management system. It will then get trickled down to the club growth director. He will in turn make a vetting of the call. I'll come to vetting of the call in just the next bit. And then they will maintain a lead tracker. all the division directors are already part of what is called as a division market analysis. Do you know that preparation that you've been doing with Vidyut? Division directors, you know what I'm talking about, right? So that market research in reviewing your particular area. So the leads that come from TI is one source. The next source, and this is again something for Varun and Vidyut to do and share with all of us. I'll give you an example. We have a company called Shell, which has the Toastmaster Club in Chennai. Shell also operates in Bangalore. So if Shell Chennai, the leaders from Shell Chennai can be contacted and asked for similar peer resources in Bangalore, then Shell Bangalore could be a club in District 92, or depending on the pin code and things like that. So the corporate relations is a place where you can go and get a list of all the corporates in our geography, and then you can review and see if they have a club in a neighboring district or somewhere else, then get leads from within the organization and move forward on the club lead. So that's one way. The first point that I think this was Satya's point that he had brought in when we talked about it is that just literally anyone that you interact with. If you find out that they're in an organization or studying in a college and that doesn't have Toastmasters, you could easily just ask them about their contact of somebody in their organization and reach out to them. So all your members, your co-workers, anybody that you interact. And the next thing that we discussed, and a couple of you had given us versions of this, is the residential communities, large organizations, bigger corporate student bodies that have like a 2-year curriculum. All of those are great places to start Toastmasters at. Now, one of the things that you can also review is existing clubs. Say you have too many and all the members, they're not able to get their speech slots within the same club timing and you're constantly struggling because you have too many members in one club. You could also look at splitting the club. Clubs made out of like various other organizations. We have a PMI club, we have Rotary associations, any alumni network like BNI or anyone that needs to have a Toastmasters wing of it. This is a good place to start Toastmasters. Now, one thing that I wanted to stop here and talk to every single person that is a district officer. In just a little bit, you will be getting the roster, the area roster or your division roster, which will have all your members' email IDs. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yes, no, have you already seen it? No idea what you're talking about?
The membership report that we can get from the central.
Fantastic. So the membership report that you can get from the Leadership Central is exactly what I'm talking to you about, where this is access for you. Now, I would recommend that from like a division angle instead of every single area director writing it. If the division directors can write to every single member over an email saying, if you are a part of an organization or if you know any place which does not have Toastmasters, give us your contact number and the club extension team will get in touch with you and then we will take this forward. All they have to do is just put the district on to some person in the organization. It could be a coordinator, it could be HR, L&D head, just like anybody in the organization that can take this conversation forward. Does this seem like something that the division directors can do? Will that be a good use of your membership roster? Yes on the chat if the division directors are up for that idea. Yes. Or no, or yeah, what really, like, do I have to send that email? Can Vidyut send it? Or something like that. Okay, so that will be a good way for you to start asking for these leads. And any of this, now while you're looking for leads, there is a question of integrity, and I just want to bring that here. If you know that somebody is already working on the lead, do not snatch that lead from them. Remember, your district officer role is only for 1 year, but you're a human being for the rest of the years. So be human first. Make sure that all the leads that you're working on are informed at all times to Vidyut and his team, so that if they know that somebody else is also collaborating with the same organization, they'll put both of you together, and together you'll have faster results. Instead, redundancy and just the whole idea of who gets there first. Hey, I know somebody in HR, but you know somebody in L&D. Let's see whether you get the lead or I'll get the lead. I'll also do one demo meeting. You'll also do one demo meeting. We'll see who wins. That is no schoolboy business here. All right. So let's think about overall growth for District 92 and ensure that you are dealing with the leads with integrity. If you know that there is somebody else involved, raise a flag right away to the club growth director, and at all times, please make sure that you keep your club growth director's office informed about it. Does that make sense? I'm going to quickly pause and ask, can we move to the next section? Anybody has any questions on generating leads? Okay, like this awkward silence can mean two things. I'm just going to think that everybody's clear with this.
So, Vanita, in the residential area part, it was mentioned 1,000 plus, right? Is that like a mandate or is it like a recommendation?
It's just a recommendation. We're assuming that in a 1,000-member place, you would be able to. There are corporates, and the reason why I put even 150 members in corporates is the assumption is corporate is not paying, and that you'll have to generate people from the audience. So just like on just math and just probability of people joining Toastmasters, that assumption was made. There are cases where there are only 40 employees in the company, but the company is sponsoring all 40 and all 40 are a part of Toastmasters, including the CEO. So that can happen as well. In a residential community where you have only, 200 flats, that has worked as well. Versus the residential community is actually 6,000 flats, and we still haven't been able to generate a lead because the association or the residential communities lead is not helping us to generate. So either way it could go, but this is just like a rough, like a recommended number for you to not feel overwhelmed, or at least know where to start with when it comes to doing this. Okay, so let me go back to my slide because I prepared one. Moving on to the second part is the initial contact. Now, let me ask a few of you, and those who are not on video right now, you're going to come on video and tell me what you think is going to be a part of the initial contact. Can I have some responses, please? Initial contact, what does that even mean to you? Like so you identified some place which you think is a lead. All right, that's the step. So you've identified, you think that this is a place where you can start a new Toastmasters club. What's the first thing that you will do? The first initial contact. Come on, everyone.
Area director.
Okay, so you will hand it over to the area director. Very good, Rajeshwari.
No,
now I want area directors. What will you do then? Sahana, yes.
So an initial mail saying, hi, we found that your organization / company does not have a club, and what is Toastmaster? We can send out our resources that we have, a basic PPT saying what Toastmasters is. Maybe.
Okay, excellent. I like how you brought, mentioning about Toastmasters. I am going to pause right there. And Sahana, you're going to look at how this transforms, okay? Like I said, unlearning, relearning, and all of that this is where it's going to happen right now. What else? What else do you think should happen in the initial contact? Quickly. Either you're all just logged in because, this is some mandatory meeting for you as district officers. You're not there.
Vanita.
Yes, Satya.
I think.
No.
Hello, Vanita.
Yes, Sai.
Yeah, we can identify who is at the helm of affairs of that particular residential community or corporate setup, and set up an initial call with them.
All right.
Maybe introduce topic of Toastmasters gradually.
Excellent. All right. There are two key things that Sai has mentioned, and he's nailed it. That is literally what that next slide is going to be about. This is not you talking about Toastmasters yet. Okay, so Sahana, keep all your email and your about Toastmasters all ready, but this is not about talking about Toastmasters yet. This is vetting the lead in the first place. Is this even a valid something? Whom can I talk to, who influential or who is in authority that I can talk to about Toastmasters is what this initial contact is going to be. Now I'll give you a couple of examples, okay? So you would have, say for example, club growth director also, he will have this lead coming in. When you call that person and you will say what you want, hey, we got your lead from Toastmasters International, they'll say, see, I am in Malleshwaram. I don't know, I want to join Toastmasters for my own personal growth. So, it's not a lead. Okay. But will you stop there? No. You will put them on to like a community club in and around Malleshwaram, because every payment counts. Every single member joining District 92 counts. And you know it's not a new club lead, but it's still a valid lead. So that vetting process, whether they are there for an individual membership or to start a club, is what you will do in the initial contact. All right. So this is when you get leads from somebody, when you talk to somebody, somebody asks you about Toastmasters, all of this initial contact, you'll have to make sure. Anything else? Anybody else wants to add to what Sai had mentioned? Sai actually nailed it. That's exactly what we're going to be doing in this step. Okay. So this is establishing credibility. Who the hell are you to talk about Toastmasters? Why are you selling Toastmasters? How can you tell us like, I want to meet with somebody in your organization? Who are you, mister? Who are you? That establishing credibility is very crucial. So announcing to them that you are a district officer or whatever your role is, you're a part of the extended team or something, that you are eligible or credible enough to talk about Toastmasters growth. That's the first thing that you will do. You'll vet this lead. When I talk to you about vet, I told you whether it's a lead for a new club or a lead for an individual membership, that part you will get clear. You will understand why they want Toastmasters. Now that we are again going back to chartering a new club. So we will only talk about if that person says, in my college, we have MBA students, but they are not really good with communication or something like that. You will identify the need for Toastmasters. If it is a corporate and then they have a specific LOB and they say that this is a particular thing, we feel that our sales team is not doing very well with our calls to the agents are not doing very well on the calls or whatever, the need for Toastmasters for that organization. That time you will ask them, okay, so can you put me on to the HR head, the L&D director? Can you put me on to your college dean or your administration? I will bring my leaders as well. So whichever capacity you are in, say, assuming you're an area director or an extended team member, you do not have the experience or the past experience of dealing with the organization. So my recommendation to first time folks who are doing this is to take someone with you and watch them do the talking. All right, which is why extended team, Varun has like 3 different members on his team, one for corporate, one for community, and one for student. He has experts who can do the talking really well. So your job is just to make sure that the division director and a member of the club extension team can come together and be available for this introductory meeting that you want to set up. Now, once you schedule that meeting, you are going to ensure that that meeting will have the decision makers of both ends. Toastmasters also, and the people there who need to take financial decisions for that organization. This is not just asking for demo, right? This is not just a demo meeting. This is about somebody investing in Toastmasters long time. So there is money involved. And for that financial decisions to be made, you will have to ensure that stakeholders from their end are also available. Then you inform them beforehand that this is the duration that you expect the session to be. And don't count the 30 minutes for presentation. So this is something that I would recommend what you do for initial contact. So you'll have to inform them that the meeting is usually 30 minutes, but in case you have too many questions, we can stay above the 30 minutes and answer your questions. That's the good thing that you do for your initial contact. Now, does anyone have questions about initial contact? What can go wrong here? Anything that you want to comment here? Come on, I'm expecting this to be like a really interactive bunch and all that. I've given up movie time.
A lot of things can go wrong in this, right? Every step things can go wrong, especially towards the last part wherein you set up the meeting and then the last minute they get cold feet or they just cancel on you.
All right. So 2 things here, especially if you're Murphy's favorite child, there is no stopping any of these happening for you.
He loves me.
But the one thing is, you have to remember that a lot of times it's not about the results. It's about the efforts. So for you to charter one club, let me just go back and do the math for you, okay? You might probably have to do 6 demo meetings and talk to 12 different organizations, have at least 12 different rejections of, you know what, we thought Toastmasters, but we're not interested right now. And maybe 20 such initial contacts. That's the numbers we are talking about. So you do the math and tell me what's the probability of like this one initial contact going right? And I'm saying there is a lot of efforts that we put in, and this workshop is aimed at making sure that you put your effort in the right place. I'll give you an example of what could go wrong. You're full into district officer and all that. You're picking up the phone and you're talking to somebody and telling so much about Toastmasters, how it has changed your life and how it has transformed so many people and all of that. And then that person says, see, I'm only third year student, okay? I don't care about all this. I will just connect you to my college professor. Do you get how much time you have wasted? So which is why this initial contact will let you decide who this actual stakeholder is. And that step is absolutely important for you before you go starting to talk about Toastmasters. Does it make sense? Does it tell you like where you could, hold your marketing material, you could hold all your information that you have about Toastmasters, because it'll be more relevant in another meeting. Okay, so before we go on to the next one, and this is the actual meeting, okay, this you will have to assume that you've got the correct contacts and you are going and talking to someone. Now, what are the few things that you can do? I'm going to stop sharing. I want to go around the room and I want to ask few of you, first time people on video, actually, some of you just turn your videos on and come and tell me in an introductory meeting, what are the things that you will do? Tell me inputs and tell me what will be the end or the outcome of an introductory meeting. Come on, you'll have to visualize you being a part of this.
Yeah, we need to give a taste of what Toastmasters is and what people can gain out of Toastmasters.
Okay, fantastic. What else?
The finances behind the chartering of a club, like in the sense how much money is involved.
Excellent. Excellent, Deepak. Fantastic. What else? What else will you do in this introductory meeting? Come on. There are like 15 of us.
Why would what is the necessity of having a Toastmaster in their organization or community?
Excellent. So benefits of Toastmasters, bang on. Here's where you want to try to actually talking. So Ravi?
Yeah, also try to find out who would be the point of contact going forward.
Okay, outcome. Excellent. So who are you going to be working further with? Fantastic. What else?
Get the next steps. What exactly needs to be done after
What is
this
your
meeting?
next step, Kavi? Once you do the introductory meeting, what's the next step do you think?
Demo meet.
Fantastic. Okay, Sandeep?
Yeah, we can showcase some testimonials of people relatable where they can connect with. Let's say, for example, we can get to a firm which has a lot of people in technical field, can get testimonial related to them and showcase that these are the people who joined Toastmasters and they got greatly benefited from. So they can connect well.
Okay, Sandeep, I'm going to ask you to use this idea and tell me if it will fit better in another step that you might just come to discover. All right, but great idea so far. The testimonial thing, one of us coming and talking about how much transformation has happened is a bang on, definite good one. All right. So let me ask you a few things. I want to just run through a few things and then I'll show you a slide. First of all, you are going there as a district officer. I'm assuming you're in the meeting in some capacity. So you'll dress the part. You can't go in there casually dressed because you are going to be meeting stakeholders. This is where the pins will come to use. The badges, if you've already been given that at DOTP, your suits on and your formal saris or whatever it is that you want to, because you are now no longer going on, you're representing Toastmasters International. So just along with establishing credibility, make sure you're dressed to kill for that particular meeting. Then I told you, like visiting cards, taking along the right people as well. Sometimes it doesn't have to be like Vidyut can't be physically there in like the 20 initial, introductory meetings that we have. But you might have a really senior Toastmaster, a past division director, a past district officer who would have still done this, and that's enough too. Like just anyone who's ready to give that time for you to sit in a meeting and talk about Toastmasters is good enough. All right. But the main idea is that you are a representative of Toastmasters International. While you're working somewhere else, you're studying something else, you are now representing TI. So make sure you dress the part. The next thing is about KYC, I would call it. Know your customer, know your corporate, know your college, where you are going to, what do they deal with, who is their main business, what are the kind of numbers that they generate, how successful is the college in producing results and things like that. Just do your homework when you know where you're going for that, because customizing your presentation to that particular organization, whether it's a college or a corporate, will help you very much. Ask questions. You should be the one to answer questions, and you should be asking the stakeholders, whoever they are, they should be asking more questions to you. So set up a tone like that in that meeting. Then one of the things is that a lot of times in the introductory meeting, and this is something that I want you to unlearn, relearn, whatever, is that we find that this introductory meeting can be taken a little too casually. People don't take it up seriously. The main outcome of an introductory meeting is a decision out of for the financials. Once you have informed them, this is how much it costs, like this is your club charter fee, this is a one-time fee, this is how much the members will pay. My recommendation to you from now to October is that don't go and tell them $45 now, $60 later and all of that. You could just say on an average, it's $60. And if they're paying less, they're only happy to pay less. All right. By the time you do that conversation and by the time you charter, and you can always throw it as an incentive, saying if you charter this really quickly within the month, then it's only $45 for this period. Otherwise, it's $60 usually. Remember, you are introducing Toastmasters to them. So they don't need to know of our price hike, the conversations that TI has had, what the board has told, how difficult it is for our members now to pay $60. All that is just in your head. When you go and talk newly about Toastmasters, $60 is still very, very cheap compared to anything else that they are going to be investing in terms of like a learning and development program for them. So that's what you're going to be talking about. So talk to them about long term and how the $60 for every 6 months is hardly anything when it comes to the company or the organization getting returns for that. Then you will have to ensure that for long-term sustenance, that the leadership is invested in it. It can't be a single department running this. It can't be a single, like business, a line of business running this in a corporate. It has to be as okayed by the highest person in that organization. Let's say, for example, otherwise the club might not sustain. It might in your year. You as an area director or a division director will get that club chartered. But after that, what? So try and make sure that the leadership buy-in is there at the biggest level possible. Then we talk about, a lot of times we only ask what we can do. One thing that we need to highlight to them is how important our time is. So when you ask them for a date for the demo meeting, when you represent Toastmasters International, listen to this really carefully because it changes the way they start looking at us. You will have to establish to them that your time is very important and you are going to be bringing in 10 volunteers who are full-time professionals working somewhere, students somewhere, and they do other things, but they're taking that 1 hour or 2 hours just for this demonstration meeting. So only call us for the demonstration meeting if you're 100% invested in the demo meeting. So when you get the dates for the demonstration meeting, which is the next outcome of your introductory meeting, the financials have to be clear. The company or the organization needs to tell us who is paying what. Company will pay $125 and the $20, but the members have to pay $45. There will be some variation of permutation combination. That all needs to be clarified before the demonstration meeting. Give them time and tell them we need 2 weeks time to get our role takers together, because it could be in person, online, whatever it is. We have to ask people to take time off from their schedules and come for this demonstration meeting. So please make sure that you promote this demonstration meeting properly. That's a mandatory, no excuses there at all. Only if they get there do you conduct a demo meeting. A lot of times management is not ready. They are still deciding, but we have gone ahead and done demonstration meeting. And then management will say, oh, we are not paying. In the demonstration meeting, you've never told them anything about finances. So this is a wasted effort of at least 15 people because we did not get our basics right. Did that make sense? All right. So one other thing that you should remember is that while you're setting up financials, also request for the date of that demo meeting that needs to be finalized. And it's mandatory that somebody from that organization, say if it's a college or a corporate, then the HR leader or the coordinator, they have to speak for 2 minutes during the demonstration meeting. They need to be able to tell their folks, because who will come and listen to you? You are all strangers for that demonstration meeting, correct? You have no voice in that demonstration meeting. You are representatives of a different organization, but only their leaders will have that kind of influence. So if you're going to a college, please make sure that you're telling the college coordinator or the dean or whoever is working with you, saying you have to be present, or a member from your leadership has to be present for this demonstration meeting to talk about the benefits or talk about what is the payment plan or anything for 2 minutes to the audience. Does that make sense? Now, give me a thumbs up if you feel so far so good. Non-Zoom people, non-video people, you are the people that I'm looking at. Like, is this making like any sort of relevance to you? Because I've logged in and I'm screaming my lungs out. And you are all going to like charter clubs, God knows when. I just want to see if like this minute it's all being useful. All right. So let's quickly now go back to the notes and see what we are going to be talking. Okay, I have. So in the introductory meeting, you will understand the type of the club. This will be, 1 second. You will explain how Toastmasters will help the organization. You'll discuss the finances. You'll schedule the meeting. And then you should have done your homework well enough for this meeting. The things that you need to know is what is your fee? Who needs to pay for this? All of this is something that you need to know. You'll put together a presentation. Your club extension manager already has a resource folder which has all of this in like a PPT, which can be standardized and used. You can customize it for the employees of the certain organization that you're going to go and visit, or the college that you're going to visit. So make sure that you customize it for the audience. But this information should be there in the introductory meeting. They need to know what they are paying for. Now let's pause. I'm going to ask chat responses this time. I'm going to ask you, the next step is the demo meeting that you've already understood, because that's the outcome of the introductory meeting, right? Now for the demo meeting, there are 3 stages: before the demo meeting, during the demo meeting, and right after the demo meeting. In 3 stages, I want to do this activity with like district division wise. Okay, so for the first part of the activity, let's have A, B, and C, which is before the demo meeting. What are the few things that we will take care of? Can we have members of division A, B, and C? Come on, video, unmute, answer. Okay, Anuj. Before the demonstration meeting, what are the things that you will take care of? Assuming that you are going to go ahead and do the demo eventually in 2 weeks. The 2-week preparation is what I want you to think about. Anuj, over to you.
I have too much of background noise, so I will type it on the chat. Is that okay?
Yes, I can hear you very clearly, but you can also type it on chat.
So I can say a few things, like
Yes.
one of the things we need to do is we need to ensure that the right role takers have been selected for doing the demo meet. A perfect agenda has been in place for the demo meet, with the time to time saying that 6 minutes, 7 minutes or whatever.
Excellent.
And then the evaluator should try to do a positive evaluation to the extent possible, not to go with a complex evaluation.
Critical ones, yes, fantastic.
Ones. And table topics, again, like we should ensure that 1 or 2 people from our team goes onto the stage and does the table topics, but the remaining, let us leave it to the new organization and their people. So that planning is must, and that should be communicated with the person who is coordinating with the club, new club.
Excellent. All right. Now talk to me. All this is preparation from our end. As Toastmasters, what we are going to do and be ready for with our demo team. Excellent points that you have brought in, Krishna. What do we do with the organization before the demonstration meeting? Can somebody from Division B suggest?
I'm C. I suggest.
Yes, Rajeshwari, yes. I'm also reading Anuj's this thing, send the agenda or communication, and that's something before the meeting. Communication to the demo meeting audience, right? That's very important. Rajeshwari, what's your point?
And whoever we are in contact, that contact lead or something you said, we have to communicate with them till the demo meet begins. That is very, very important according to me. Gathering the members or whoever it is, we have to keep in contact with the lead, introductory lead, as you said. We have to keep in touch with them and they have to gather the members on that particular day. That is our, before the meeting we have to do.
Okay, so being in touch and constant communication with the organization or the lead for that organization is mandatory. And they are the people that are going to be bringing in the audience as well. So keeping a check on that is important. Now, when we're sending out, like when it's an organization like a corporate or a college, there comes like a mass communication, right? Like there is something that you can send an email to all the employees or all of them. So ensure that the organization has that particular PR material that is required for sending that, saying what is Toastmasters, this is what we're having, we're bringing Toastmasters to our organization, this is what we can do for you to, for team bonding or something like that. And the mail that goes out to the organization, ask for members to sign up for it. If you have a sign up form, nothing like it, because it will give you an idea how many people are interested, how many people are registering for it. But otherwise also the organization should have done the communication on our behalf. And we should be helping them with that kind of writing for an email. Usually we send out the draft email and then they will customize it for their organization. The posters that we can make, benefits of Toastmasters, all of that needs to be done. So let's do part 2 right now. I'm going to go back and do a few more myths that I'm going to break with my PPT, but let's do part 2, which is during the meeting, what are the things that you'll need to take care of? So assuming that Krishna's inputs of, getting the right role takers and ensuring that there is stable topics on the agenda and then we are dividing that, during the meeting, what do we do? Quickly. So now this is Division D. Okay, Veera, hi.
Okay, hi. So sorry, I can't turn on my camera, but main thing that we need to keep in mind is, one is their time as well, and two is that we are representing TI. So how we are conducting the entire thing, the entire demo meeting, the professionalism there, biggest thing to be taken care of. And number
that
two,
is the only thing that I want you to take care of. If you can just start that meeting on time and end that meeting on time, no matter what happens inside, if you're just able to contribute that much commitment to this demo meeting, that is a success itself. So bang on, Veera. Great point there. What else during the meeting? I want D, E to contribute. D and E.
So,
anybody from E?
This is Shubham.
Yes, Shubham.
From E. Maybe we can take care of logistics, probably pen and paper for timer or Toastmaster. Table topic masters, such things.
Okay, Shubham, now you tell me, will you do this during the meeting or before the meeting?
Like we can just ensure it is there before meeting, yes.
Before meeting, no? Okay, so remember this point for before the meeting, okay? Excellent point. It's there, like it's very important that you get all your role taker stuff and all that. I've also signed, put a proposal to both your club extension manager and your club growth director for TI branded goodies to be given during the demo meetings. So that's the CGD team. What else during the meeting? Come on, quickly. One more before we move to after the demo meeting.
Hi, Toastmaster Vanita. This is Simab here.
Hi, Simab.
So till now we have spoken only about what Toastmasters is. This is the time where we can nail it and we can actually show it to them what the Toastmasters meeting is and what they can benefit out of it. This is our 1 hour of whatever the planning is based on the agenda. So start on time, yes. In between also keep them engaged, keep them involved. and show them that this is not their regular meetings, is different from that. Also, maybe have a recognition for, just to show them that we do have a recognition program as well, best role taker, best table topic speakers, something like that, which can be incorporated at the end.
All right, fantastic. Excellent points about how this is where we show them instead of all the talking that we have done so far. So great job there. Last 2 divisions and last 3, did I get the count right? No, last 3 divisions now. And tell me what you will do after the demo meeting, quickly.
Have a follow-up to understand how many people are interested and then take the next steps.
Very important. All right. What else can you think of after the demo meeting, assuming it's a successful demo meeting? What else? Follow-up is very good. What else?
Taking feedbacks of the audience who was present.
Feedback. All right.
And if possible, then and there using Mentimeter, not for the later on.
I am just going to give Tejas the award of the best input that has ever come, because this one mistake we do in so many demo meetings. We tell them we will send out later one form in which you can fill out. So just showing something right there during the meeting, asking them, we have so many digital tools that can help us quickly get membership data, right? Like, so just asking for interested audience on their way out, just scan something and then give your email ID or your phone number or whatever it is that we want to collect. An email ID usually is the best way to engage with the audience right after the demo meeting. So that's fantastic. I would recommend that point be told during the demo meeting itself instead of after, because it will only enhance that whoever is interested will immediately sign up then and there, instead of even giving them that like 1 day time to go back and then fill up like a form. So doing it during the meeting, same Tejas's point, but consider doing it during the meeting. What else? Anything else? That's it. F, G, and H. That's it. What's Satya?
You shouldn't be delaying it too much, right? I mean, even the follow-up, we need to make sure that we are proactive and following up with the management. If we get enough people, like for example, as soon as the meeting is over, we do get 20 members who are interested, then make sure that we follow up immediately with the management to make sure that the club starts as soon as possible.
All right. So that's a great point. And I want to introduce you to this concept of pre-charter meetings. How many of you have been a part of something like that, know what it is? Pre-charter meetings. You did the demonstration meeting. Paperwork is going on, or there is something that is happening, but in the meantime, what do? That's where this pre-charter meeting comes in place. Okay. Now, for the sake of making sure that our session is on time, let me now quickly share my screen and take you through the basics of this. Just give me 1 minute.
Vanita, I think Toastmaster Sahana has a question.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Sahana, please unmute and ask. Yes.
Yeah, so my question is, I'm not even sure if this is something that we should be worried about. That is, how do we ensure, how do we balance that we don't overwhelm them with too much information and chase them away? Is that something that can go wrong? And so, yeah, this is my question.
Okay, it's an absolutely important question. Let me now, if there is anything that you have picked up from this meeting, I'd like for it to be this next 5 minutes, all right, next 10 minutes that we go through demo meetings. Now, I'll tell you why there is a lot of myths that we need to, ensure that we never do this again in District 92, okay? And I'll start this with the first point that Sahana just mentioned. You cannot assume that anybody has more time for Toastmasters. So it has to be the quickest agenda possible. A lot of times we have seen demo meetings having 2 prepared speakers. How many of you have seen demo meetings with 2 prepared speakers? Not required. We are only giving a sample of what a demo meeting is. So just 1 prepared speaker is good enough. So insisting. So let me just go back to the order. Actually, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me do before the demonstration meeting. So first of all, you'll have to ensure that whomever you're talking to in the organization, you have promoted this really well. The promotion material should be shared from your end, the email draft, communication, any posters that needs to be made and things like that. And insist to them that at least 50 people from that organization should sign up. Assuming that 50% say at least 20 will show up and end up like chartering on your forms. The agenda should have, this is all just my recommendation. You can do how it is for your, you can take a call on this. It should have only one prepared speech and evaluation, and table topics should at least be 4 or 5. Only one person from our team should speak table topics, which means the demo meeting role takers that you pick should be told, do not raise your hand for table topics. A lot of times, if you go to a demonstration meeting, our enthusiastic demo role takers will be raising left, right hands and all. And we're like, hello, listen, just it's not for you. The session is for non-Toastmaster audience. So that awareness needs to be told to them beforehand. Now, ideally, a presiding officer is not required in a demonstration meeting. Like I just feel like the whole thing should be cut so much short, because this whole president and head of the meeting and all of that is just not really relevant to them. If you had a Toastmaster of the day, ideally the same person talks about Toastmasters as well. This is my recommendation. So opening the meeting, closing the meeting does not have to be done in a demonstration meeting, but the same person who feels like, say if it's an area director who's there, that person can talk about Toastmasters. Now put it on the chat for me on how many minutes can the about Toastmasters presentation be. Put it on chat. I'm looking at all your chat responses. Come on. I'm having just 1. 5 minutes, okay? 2 minutes. No, this is a explaining to them about Toastmasters and telling them this is our organization, the benefits and things like that. Okay, go ahead. I'm seeing some generous, just the length of the TM video. Okay, fantastic. That's about 3.5 minutes. Satya? What else? What else? Okay. Anything more than 5 minutes, you're taking a risk. Nobody wants to listen to Toastmasters and its history and its geography and its demographic during a meeting where you can show them in action. Anything about 10 minutes, you be rest assured you've lost people. People have already signed out of the meeting of 20-30 minutes of big things that happen. Show them in action. Quickly move them to how you can talk about, say, if it's a Toastmaster club in a corporate, you can talk about Fortune 500 companies and just throw 10 names on a slide and say, these are companies that have, and look at who their competition is. And say, your competitor companies already have Toastmasters. This is doing great for them, and so Toastmasters will be great for you. That's all. Just 5 to maximum 10 minutes, and that 5 to 10 minutes should also cover financials. I would recommend that this be done before the meeting, so that when people are listening to the money matter, you've not even shown them what Toastmasters is, but they already know that there is a cost involved. Usually what we do is in the very end, last question, somebody will come and say $45. 1 whole hour they would have spent thinking it's free. 1 whole hour they would have spent. So break that myth and announce to them that this is how much it will cost. And if it's an organization sponsored one, tell them that this is sponsored by the company, this is sponsored by the college, this is what you will have to pay for every 6 months. If you roughly, whatever the math is, announce to them in the first 5 minutes itself. And then you will know that whoever is interested in seeing the rest of the meeting is actually interested in the meeting. I've found that it can go both ways. It can backfire both ways, but you'd rather have the information told to them much in advance than to come to them as a shocker in the end, just so that from your angle, you are very authentic about the sale. You've actually told them it costs something even before you're showing them the product. That's how you're going to look at this, okay? The other thing that I wanted you to keep in mind before the demo meeting is how the logistics of it, like, will they have like a presentation? If one of your speakers is going to use a PPT, do we have that logistics taken care of? This is where a branding material, anything like simple, like pens having Toastmasters International, to anything that you can give away to the role takers, especially the table topic speakers from the organization, that will be nice. Now, one of the other things that I've seen that we do horribly wrong in a demo meeting is your introduction of the role takers. The introduction will go something like, he's the club extension manager of District 92. He has won Triple Crown 6 times and he's an area director. And, you know, like none of that makes sense to a non-Toastmaster audience. Instead, if you're into the part of this organization, a dog lover, somebody who's very interested in running a marathon, a foodie, able to connect to the audience in general. Look at the pulse of the audience and ensure that your introductions of the role takers are always aligned to non-Toastmaster audience. The Triple Crown winners, the distinguished Toastmaster, none of that matters to the audience. So just keep that out of your introductions. No TM jargons at all. Now, the other big mistake that we do usually, and this is for you to keep in mind for your demo meetings, if you're going to call our reigning champion, say Matthew Verghese. How many of you think like Matthew Verghese will be like a best guy that you can take and go for the demo meeting prepared speech? Come on, be honest and raise your hand if you think, oh, he'll do very well. You know, the Ashin Pauls, the Arundhati Basus, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like taking them for the demonstration meeting and having them give a prepared speech. How many of you think that will be very good?
They're the worst.
Arey, Satya, don't spoil my surprise. No, I'm building up to that story, right? How many of you think that it's a great idea? Okay, I have to break it to you that you will just lose your audience the moment a Matthew Verghese opens his mouth. Because the thought that will be running in a non-Toastmaster audience is, oh my God, I can never speak like him. Oh my God, she is just brilliant. I can never, ever match up to Arundhati Basu. I can never match up to an Ashin Paul. I can never match up to this thing. Do you understand what you're doing to the psyche of the audience? So never take a champion speaker for a demonstration meeting. Take an average person, because an average speaking person is what that the audience can relate to. Does that make sense? Now, instead, what can you do with your Matthew Verghese, your Ashin Pauls and your Arundhati Basus? Ask them to be general evaluator. Ask them to be speech evaluators, because the entire crux of a demonstration meeting is how great feedback can improve a person irrespective of who they are. So find out who gives the best feedback in your circles and ensure that that person is in your role takers list. How the prepared speakers, instead of having powerful prepared speakers, have powerful evaluators, great folks that do grammarian role, folks that are very high on energy for the table topics role. These are some things that can make or break your demonstration meeting. So when you keep this in mind before the meeting, also keep in mind the guest management. Now, people who are interested, how are we going to write down? Are we going to have a notebook? Are we having a Mentimeter, a QR code, whatever the fancy jazz that you want to? How are we going to collect this? And this needs to be prepared before. Now, during the meeting is quite easy to keep this in mind, right? Like when you have the agenda, imagine I'm saying 20 minutes max, but honestly, after pandemic, I don't want to listen to anybody for 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm saying keep it tops to 10 minutes. The regular presentation, the PPT that you do, I've seen people doing it for 20 minutes max, but I will leave it to you to take a chance on that. Okay, that is one thing. Time management is your first thing. Encourage participation from the organization, specialized role takers that we just talked about, and keep the question and answer session different from the demo, which means you open and close on time and say, we are now finished with the demo and we're staying back, so that if you overshoot time with the question and answers, it is not giving a bad impression that the Toastmaster meeting overshot time. So that is why I want you to keep the question and answer session outside of the agenda of the demonstration meeting. Any questions on, okay, let me just finish off this one as well. After the demo, you'll be collecting the members who are interested. You will announce during the demo when the next meeting has to happen. Usually we don't do that. And so people who want to see this happening again, a pre-charter meeting, have no idea. So have the details of this, begin the form filling. There is like a form filling step that we have for paperwork for just filling up the chartering the club. Identify what is called as the club excom, like who will be the club excom. Identify what will be the timings of the club. Now, all this you can do only if you know who your 20 members are. So while you're collecting 20 members, in between this and the paperwork, right after the demo, give yourselves 2 weeks to finalize who will be president and all of that. So you'll have to go and explain to them what each role does, call for volunteers from the interested members and things like that. Now I'm going to quickly pause because after this, we are going to be having a breakout activity. I'll pause right now. We are going to do a breakout for about 10 minutes. Let me see, what did I lose? Before we get into the breakout activity, I now want to open questions for the demo meeting. Anything before, during, after that you have questions about? Yes, Sai.
Yeah, Vanita, you said we'll have to take average speaker for demo meeting. So sometimes it may backfire also because they may think that, okay, having been in Toastmasters, he or she is average speaker. So taking a good speaker, he or audience may feel that, okay, this is a standard that the Toastmaster has. So we can or we could become one day after joining Toastmasters. So what is your take on this? Yes,
all right,
my perspective.
Okay, I fully agree to it. And like I said, the thumb rule is to do just one sample of a prepared speech. I'll tell you where this particular thing is actually helpful. So if you took like one average speaker and then you took, and so the first speaker that came is an average speaker and the second speaker that came is an advanced speaker, that's great. All right. I'm talking about the time where you'll have only one prepared speaker and that one prepared speaker will be a top-notch speaker. You are losing your audience. If you have the bandwidth, if say, for example, a community club, if you're chartering a community club, you slightly have more time on your agenda. So that time you can have 2 speeches, one from an average speaker with an evaluation to that level, and one from like a very esteemed speaker and still being able to evaluate even that kind of a speaker, which means Toastmasters is for all kinds of people. But times where you're not able to have that differentiation showed, right? Like, and the point is very valid, Sai, because what if, say for example, I'll give you an example with the PMI club that we were chartering. All right. We realized that the PMI club that we were going to charter all had very senior project managers. So if I took like a student or somebody to come in, like, I won't say student because I've seen some students give fabulous speeches. So I'll break that stereotype right there. Say for somebody, an average speaker, if I took them to that demo meeting, it would have bombed for us because we had eloquent speakers already as a part of the membership itself, because they were all senior project managers and things like that. So for that meeting, because we knew our audience and we knew the kind of speaking level for them, we took a slightly advanced speaker and even advanced evaluation happened. So you have to take a call on what kind of an audience this is, so that the audience does not get overwhelmed. And if you have the time and the bandwidth, do both. Do one average and do one, specialized speaker, so that they can see that the best of both worlds. Irrespective of the speaking capability, the thing that they will be impressed about is the feedback that goes to them. So even for a average speaker, how do you give feedback? Even for a great speaker, how do you give feedback? So your evaluators have to be on point. Did that help, Sai? Did that clarify your question? Okay, Sahana, what's yours?
Hi, so my question is a typical ideal time with just one speaker and 4 to 5 table topic speakers. So would it be around 45 minutes to 1 hour? Would that be something that we can look at, or would it be too much?
I think 45 minutes should be good, including question and answers, to an hour.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I think Toastmaster Rajeshwari also has a question. Please go ahead, Toastmaster Rajesh.
Hey, actually, Varun, I don't want to take the club coach question here.
Okay.
Then you tell me I exceeded time. We're not at the break.
Sure. Then I think DTM Vanitha will come to that section, Toastmaster Rajeshwari. So
Yeah, Rajeshwari, I'll stay back and I'll talk about the club coach, please, because I still need like 2 big things to be covered. Now we're going to do a activity. Now, assuming that your 20 members are getting filled, you are having people in mind, you now are going to do the paperwork. Now, for this activity, what we are doing is this is where both Om and Prabhu, did I get their names right? Okay, Om and Prabhu will put us all in breakouts. We are going to have 4 breakouts, 2 divisions. All the people who have put in division wise, we are going in and looking at wrong charter forms. You'd probably be seeing the charter forms for the first time. There is something wrong about each of the charter forms. Now, charter forms, there is form 1, it does something. Form 2 does something. There are 7 forms that you'll go. Spend only 1 minute to overly cursory glance at the forms. A total of 10 minutes is what you will take in the breakout. So no hi, hellos and all, just jump right into the PDF, open the PDF and see what is it that is glaringly different. We'll come back and we will look at the paperwork that is required. Now, while you're filling up the forms, you will also know that these are some things that we need to keep in mind. If I can get the help of my Zoom moderators, then we will see you in breakouts. Vidyut, Varun and I will also join some random breakouts. If Madhu is there, then Madhu will join another random breakout. This is just to make sure that 2 divisions, so A and B in one breakout, C and D in another, you get the drift, right? Like, so 2 divisions together, review the form and find out what is wrong. I already have to give you one heads up about the forms. The forms were done for district officers of District 121 during their DOTP. So if you see alignment as District 121, don't say that is wrong. We know it's wrong. It should be District 92, but that's not an obvious thing that you'll point out. Okay, so look at the forms and look at, we talked about like numbers, we talked about costing, we talked about few things here and there. See what is starkly different for you in that form, and let's see how many mistakes we're able to catch. The reason why we are wanting to familiarize you with the game here is that otherwise form filling is extremely boring work, which is where Varun and Vidyut will come in with their team. They will help you with all the paperwork that is involved. But for getting the paperwork done, you still need to have some data in hand, and that's what you're going to be looking at the forms now for. Okay. We will do 10 minutes on the clock, and so we'll come back here. Actually, 8 minutes, even if you're halfway through the form. Can I request the other 2 divisions, the last 4 divisions, to start from form 6B onwards, start reverse. So the first 4 forms will be looked at like the first 4 divisions, and the last 3 forms will be looked at by the last 4 divisions. Did that make sense? I'm just trying to make sure that you start from one angle so that everybody is seeing at least some part of the form. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand. Otherwise, I'm going to be seeing you put in breakouts.
Request you all to please join the breakout rooms. They have been created by Om and Prabhu as per A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. They are the 4 breakout rooms. So please kindly join soon. Anusha, can you please let me know which division you belong to so that I can assign you to that room? Toastmaster Anusha.
Varun, they'll be adding us to the rooms, right? Because I don't see an option to go.
Om and Prabhu, can they join the rooms themselves?
Yeah, the option is available, and we are also adding them.
We are also adding them.
Okay, thank you. Please check if you also have the option. Otherwise, we'll
got it.
Thank you.
So now we will know how many of them were actually in this main room. They're not gone in, that means they're not here also. They just logged in.
True, true.
Yes,
Yes, I have just
come into the room, so we will never know.
Yes. Yes.
You will have to share this on a broadcast message, both the Zoom moderators. Can you share that file that I sent you?
Yes.
Can anyone of you add me to E2 division? I'm not able to.
Yeah,
find
sure. AB, is it?
E2, E is it?
Okay, sorry. Yes. Prakash, can you please, Toastmaster Prakash? May I please know which division you belong to? Yes. I think only Toastmaster Prakash is remaining here. Rest all have joined, Vanita.
Okay. And have those forms been sent? Can you post it on your group? If you have like a WhatsApp group, post it there also.
Yes, I'll send it to the district officers group, and to the remaining people, I think we can send a broadcast
Yes.
message. Zoom moderator. Okay, perfect. Great. Thank you,
Yeah,
Om.
I think Om has done it. Cool.
Thanks, Om.
Okay, so we'll just be in one of these rooms. Okay, but I need to be assigned, I think.
Okay. Which one, Vanita? Which one would you
I'll go
want?
to the last breakout. You
Okay.
can take one each.
Yes. Vidyut, which one would you like to go? You're on mute, Vidyut. You're on.
Okay, I'll go to the first one, A and B.
Okay. Yes, please. I request you, Madhu, if you.
Chat, right? But we were not able to. You said it again also. Okay.
It's there in the chat now.
Yeah, it's there in the chat now. That's fantastic. So I think one of us can take one form and then we can work whichever form. That should be the best thing, because we'll and see if we can.
You all please go ahead, have a look at it.
What should we actually do, Veera?
Okay, so it's apparently there are
Okay, restriction details are incorrect. Okay.
What is this? Okay, give me a minute. I'm just checking 6B.
This is 6B.
6B, this is different, right? I mean, the form itself is wrong, wrong, right?
Okay. So 6B
Okay,
formal is wrong.
form is wrong. They've edited the form. Okay, make a note of it. Okay, so rest all is correct, I think.
Demo meeting stage. Where do we have?
Yeah, but that is because you are chartering a club, right? No, so you are sending the forms.
Okay.
After the demo.
Okay.
I have an observation. Let me try sharing a screen with this group.
Sure, sure. Go ahead.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. You are seeing Form 6B. I also reviewed that.
Yeah. So are these data correct? New member.
No, it's not correct. So it
10
should be
per
20.
person. Yeah.
It should be 20.
Reinstatement fee is 0 per
That is
person.
all okay. That is all okay.
Transfer
Reinstatement
fee
and
is-
transfer, we don't charge anything. But new member
New
should be
member
20 is there.
20.
Right.
Right.
So I have got a couple of points written there. And also in the Form 1, I'm seeing the date format is wrong. MMDD written. Because consider that they will do a OCR scanning or something, this will knock off. 17.6 it's showing, right? Now
Okay.
I'm seeing the Form 1. Form 1 में date गलत है.
अच्छा ये कौन सा
Format. Form 1 में date
Sir,
format is wrong.
Date format, sir.
Should be American ना? MMDD web है.
Month, date, and year. Okay.
वो लिखा है उधर. And इन लोग ने normal format में लिखा है Form 1 में.
Club sponsor में sir इन्होंने they have added only one name in
Then
Form 1.
it should be 2. That we can, yeah, that we can say. And जो 6B देख रहे थे ना, 6B में और एक प्रॉब्लम था कि उसने एक्टिव मेंबर्स ने वो तो ठीक है वो 45 USD का जगह में लिखा है ठीक है चलो USD रहना चाहिए और ऊपर का चेक बॉक्स जो डाला ना उसमें भी गलत दिखा रहा है शेल बी रिस्ट्रिक्टेड का जो पॉइंट दिखा रहा है ना जो आपने स्क्रीन शेयर किया था उसमें वो चेक किया बोला कि स्टूडेंट्स एलुमनी एंड टीचिंग स्टाफ एंड इन द बॉटम इन द बॉक्स दे हैव रिटन ओनली स्टूडेंट्स सो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है उसमें
Right. Yeah.
तो देखते हैं बाकी भी पॉइंट्स रहेंगे I think our time is over. इसमें तो बाकी कुछ नहीं है बाकी सब तो ठीक है स्पॉन्सरिंग अप
Lighter note, I hope A and B didn't get any support from our CGD. Because I think Vanita and I were not.
I didn't even open my mouth. I was just watching them speak.
I did not even turn on my video.
It was in incognito mode. Yes, nice.
Okay, if the Zoom moderators can let me know once everyone is brought back to the room. Hopefully they came back to this meeting and didn't just go off.
We are hoping the same because it takes a minute to close. So all are being added manually.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Om. Thank you, Prab.
Hey, Vanita, should we pay? I made note of the errors. Should I paste it in the chat or should I let you know?
No, we'll do it like a fun activity. It's not so serious, but we will do this. I'll ask you individually and then you could just paste it at that time, okay?
Sure.
Give me just 1 quick minute.
Vanita, I think E&F checked the font also, so you have to be.
You know, I was hearing all kinds of discussions in the breakout. So this has been really fun. Forget to find out the mistakes, but just listen to everyone speak. Just because we're very conscious about the rest of the time that is available for the workshop, I'm going to park this charter form discussion for just a little bit after. But all of us should know at this point that we have the first form will have the basic details. There are 6 important details that go in the first form. We'll come to each of that while we are discussing this. The second form is about payments. The third form is about individual members. The fourth form is about club officers. The fifth form is about the club itself. And the sixth and seventh, which is 6A and 6B, both are about the club's bylaws and how we are going to operate as a club. So this is the basic thing that you need to know. while you're filling paperwork. Now you remember that in the paperwork, if you're going to submit the club officers list, that means you should have got the 6 members or the 7 members of the club officers before you actually sit for the paperwork. So you now know what is the thing that is involved. In form 5, the club information, you would be filling up where exactly are you meeting. So you should know the venue of the meeting. You should know the frequency of the meeting, because these are things that will go up on the charter forms. So that is the basic homework that you do. While you're getting your charter forms filled, you're also preparing for the club and how its next few months will take shape. Now, I quickly want to move on to the next part. Again, the charter form activity is very much there. One thing that you need to know at this point of the this particular thing is, you don't have to fill up the charter forms all by yourself. Varun with his extended team will be helping you extensively in just the paperwork itself. For you, it will just be one paperwork that you will, one club's charter work, paperwork that you will be doing. But Varun will be doing this over and over again. So consider him as the expert in getting these things done. He'll have an eye for detail and he'll know. It will save time for you if you work with the CGD's extension team office. And so please make sure that you're not alone in this process of filling up the paperwork. And anything that is a correspondence to Toastmasters International should go through Bidyut. Bidyut should know about, so don't directly send form 1s to Toastmasters International where, a club growth director is wondering what really happened, where is this club lead coming from? So ensure the club growth director is the one that will send this email to Toastmasters International new clubs. So keep that as the practice while you are working on this paperwork bit. Now I want to talk to you about mentoring. It is your responsibility in this extension group itself. Mentoring is mostly just getting the club distinguished and running long term. Why are we getting involved in it? You are the first timers who are responsible for the growth of the club. If I were to summarize just the entire mentoring in just one sentence, it will be just to teach them fishing instead of giving them fish. You are going to, when you identify 2 different people who are going to be club mentors for this particular new club that you are chartering, what you're actually doing is helping someone get the club stand on its own legs and run on its own, so that in the long term, they know to do things by themselves. They should not be dependent on these club mentors. So the club mentors that you pick for this particular new club that you're chartering should be ones who can get the club running on the ground and at the same time be able to teach them to stand on their own legs. Okay, which means when the club mentor finishes their role, 6 months, the club will also fold. Club mentor will get their form signed saying, credit is over. After the club mentor stops attending the meetings, the club will also shut down. That is the best way how you can gauge how much hand-holding the club mentor has done. If the club can survive without the club mentor in the next cycles, in the next coming cycles, that is the work that is required of the club mentor. The reason why I brought this up here is that we might all do different things, right? Like the way that we mentor a club could be very different. So I would recommend at this point, both with Bidyut and Varun, to come up with what is called as a standard mentor checklist for the district, where every single club mentor follows these bare minimum expectations of their role, and only on signing that off will the club president give them the 6 months credit. So you can set up something like that. It's not a mandate, but it's a recommendation, just so that irrespective of which division charters the club, the experience that the new club will get, hand-holding that the new club will get from the club mentors will be the same. Now, a few things that they will do is, obviously, they will help us in the daily meetings, but you'll also share your knowledge, how you will help conduct the quality meetings, the education sessions that you will have for the new clubs. What are these roles, meeting roles? Then one important thing that we don't see the club mentors doing is teaching them how to run open houses. It's not enough if just these 20 are there. So club mentors should necessarily see new members being added and renewals being done. These are cycles that the club mentors should handhold the team, irrespective of their 6-month tenure. The other thing that you will have to help is, the club mentor will help us with the charter ceremony, the first time that they ever do an installation, then filing of each of these awards that is done, how is that taken care of, the contest, club contest, anything to do with pathways, including every single member adopting to pathways. And finally, last but not the least, the club distinguished program. So running your club success plan, showing them what it is, how to do a moments of truth. So moments of truth for a beginner new club is not required, but at the end of the 6 months, if they can evaluate if they're doing all these things as per the moments of truth, is a good idea. But most important thing out of the club mentoring thing is that every single new club has to become distinguished. That should be the goal. The one thing that will be easy for us for the new club is that the membership is already there. You just have to focus on the 5 DCP goals for the club. And as area directors who want to get president distinguished, or division directors who want to get president distinguished, making your new clubs distinguished will be far more easier than getting your existing clubs distinguished in this current scenario. So focus on getting the right club mentors so that these people will help us in the distinguished program for both the area and the division. Now, continued support, and this is for district officers specifically. While there are 2 mentors that are being assigned to your new club, there are things that the area director and the division director can do in order to ensure that the club's running long term. For example, they will have to receive their charter kit. So work with the district at that time to see if they're getting their charter kit, their charter ceremony, how they do their first ever installation. Then you time and again, you can review the progress with the mentors. They complete the club success plan eventually, and then help them or add them to the resources. You have WhatsApp groups for all VPs. Make sure that the new club VP is added to that group so that they get an idea of what to get resources. You have so many resources in the District 92 website. Ensure that these people are aware of the repository which you have created. Similarly, make sure that you are guiding them for their next set of officers coming in as area directors and division directors. Even though the club mentor is supposed to take care of running the club, just make sure that even the elections that are conducted, the area director and the division director is able to help in planning the succession for this executive committee. So these are the 2 things that I wanted to cover on mentoring and continued support. I'm going to quickly pause and check if you have any questions for me on these 2 topics. Club mentor. At this point, I want to remind you of an award that the Club Growth Director's Office has. You have something called as a Champion Club Growth Mentor or Club Mentor Award. Isn't that right, Bidyut? Could you add something about it?
Yes, so it's the Club Mentor Champion Award, which is awarded to the successful club mentors. So at the end of the term, what we really look at is how effective the support from the club mentor has been in terms of getting the club to a distinguished status. So depending on whether at the end of the program year, the club reaches either a distinguished, select distinguished, or a president distinguished status, the club mentor stands the opportunity to win the Club Mentor Champion Gold, Silver, or Bronze Award from the District 92 CGD office.
Excellent. Thank you so much for adding that. So that's one more reason why that the club mentor can go all the way and help the club getting distinguished. All right, let me go back to this presentation. It's just the last few slides that we have. Now, this is just like a general guideline for you. So if you even think of chartering a club right now, you will be rest assured that it will take you a month and a half minimum to actually see it on the dashboard. Okay, which means you should have started June 25th or 26th, whenever you were appointed as area directors, then itself, because the quicker you charter clubs, there is a lot of benefit when it comes to early chartering. This is just a slide for you to know that the timelines for the new club charter, like usually how long it takes and what timelines you can set for yourself. How long will you keep waiting, right? Like suddenly they'll say, oh, introductory meeting has happened, but they're not giving you a date for demo. How long will you keep following up? So one thing that I'd like for you to remember here is your time is extremely crucial. Do not think of yourself as someone who's always available for that organization. If that lead said, I'll get back to you in 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks, and it has become 4 months, you should have stopped at the end of the first month itself. No follow-ups like that, because your time is precious. You don't need them so desperately. They should need Toastmasters. You should not be needing their association so much. So that mindset change has to happen, where you know when to stop the follow-up and when to tell them, listen, because we have limited resources, we are now stopping from our end. Whenever you are ready for Toastmasters, please get back to us, and then we will initiate conversation again. This should not be something where you keep begging them, keep calling them, and then they will block your phone, and then eventually like they will just disconnect from any communication with you. Don't get there. You should know when to stop. Knowing when to stop is just as important as generating a lead as well. So that's one thing that I'd like for all of you to remember, and keep some timelines for yourself. Now, there are a ton of resources that Bidyut and Varun have already put together. I think your website is just in the process of getting all of these updated. So there's lots that you can get to know just what is meaning of a club sponsor, what is meaning of a club mentor, and all of this. And this, again, presentation I told you will be shared with you. Now I want to talk to you about what I call as eating the frog. Now, I talked to you in the beginning of the term, the workshop, about how it's very helpful to charter clubs early in the year. So I remember this was Bhupati in one of his sessions that I mentioned about this eat the frog. How you do the hardest task first. And then so the rest of the day feels a little more productive. So that's the concept. It's a productivity hack of eating the frog, which means you do the most difficult or the hardest task first thing in the morning, so that you have the rest of the day available for your easy or relatively okay tasks to do. Now, what is eating the frog for District 92 in today's Club Growth Workshop? What does that mean for you?
Charter new clubs.
Thank you, Krishna. One person said this correctly. So chartering new clubs is your eating the frog. It's not going to be something that can, you can't think of it like, haan, chalo, my term is getting over in June 30th. No, May 1st, I will start something. Then by June 1st, it will pakka be on dashboard. You can't say that. There are people who have done 36 pre-charter meetings, which means they started the meetings in the beginning of the term, and they literally got the club chartered at the end of the term. 36 pre-charter meetings. I am not kidding you. These stories exist. So the sooner you do a club charter, the easier it is for you. Now you know that every district officer, because you signed up for your district officer role, club charter is not optional. It's not a fancy, oh, you know what, let me try and do this. Let me just give it back to the community. It's not that optional anymore. It is it's a half of the work that you signed up for. One half is to get your existing clubs to become distinguished. The other half is to get a new club on your dashboard. So with that, eating the frog challenge is what I wanted to remind you of. That 120-day challenge that Bidyut's office has, the Growth Pioneers, is that correct?
Yes.
Before October 31st, I'm yet to see a new club on the dashboard right now. We are already a month into the term. So tell me who is ready for eating the frog. I will personally be congratulating you the moment I see there is a message on your District 92 social media saying that there is a new club chartered before 31st October. I will do like a personal shout out, and I'll ensure that you feel like extra special. Put it on your chat to tell me who's ready for this 31st October challenge. Now at this point, Chitra, you're ready for the challenge, I hope. At this point, I want to ask you, oh, fantastic. I'm seeing more names coming up and saying yes, yes, yes. Okay. Now I want to ask you and think of it from the dashboard. So Bidyut, can you go back and show me the payment dashboard, the district performance dashboard? Now tell me, what are the advantages of chartering a club early? Of course, yes, you can charter in May. June 30th also is going to get counted as a new club for you. But why are we forcing you to do this ahead of time? Can you think of something? I've already given you a hint. It's on the dashboard. So can you think of many reasons why an early charter will help? What are the different ways in which an early charter will help?
Payment.
The membership
Okay.
fee is
Regards to the budget that
$45
the
if it's done before September 30th.
Okay, fantastic. I heard Satya and Kannan saying payment twice. I love this group already. You know what you're doing. Chitra, great point there for the organization. Like I said, if they charter early, then you save on a few dollars. That's very good. Tell me in terms of like quality of the new club. I understand the payment bit. I'm going to close with that. Tell me in terms of quality.
Like getting the DCP points, if it is chartered earlier, making it distinguished will be easier.
Okay, Sandeep, do you want to add to that? I think it was the same point. So you
Same
were
point.
not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So just imagine if you chartered the club October 31st, you are actually going to, in your current role as a district officer, work with the club and help them get distinguished. They have enough time to finish their pathways. They have enough time to be handheld. They will attend the second COTP. They will get their training point. They will have one more renewal on time. And the club getting distinguished, there are more chances. When the club gets distinguished, it adds to the area director's number of clubs that needs to get distinguished for them in order for the area director to become president distinguished. Same thing for the division director as well. So early club charter, the first important thing is the quality of the new club will be super strong, because the same year in which you're chartering them, they are spending a lot of time with you. So their foundation will be very strong. What's the second reason why? This payments bit, let's get this payment bit out of the way. If a new club gets chartered before September 31st, what then? If a new club gets chartered before March 31st, 2024, what then? And if a new club gets chartered before June 30th, 2024, what then? Somebody nail it for me. I only know that 100% Bidyut knows this, Varun knows this. Everybody else, you can raise your hand and tell me what then. Come on. Some answer, any answer?
So if it is coming before 31st of September, we are getting 3 payments. So the number of
Fantastic.
members into 3. The other case it will be into 2, and last case it will be 1.
So I want to correct you there when you said the number of members. It's not the number of members. For the same member that you're bringing into the system before 31st September, if you bring that member early, you are getting 3 payments from them. They pay once before 31st September, they pay once for the October to March cycle, and then they pay once more for the April to next September cycle, which means 3 payments gets added to your base. And that is important for a division or a district measure. For an area director, maybe we are not tracking your payments yet, but you early adding members through club charter will contribute to the district's success, which is why you are called growth pioneers when you bring in that new club early into the term. 3 payments. Now, if you charter a little late, you've missed the September window, but you're doing this before the March 31st, it's still 2 payments for the district. Instead, 1 member will bring 2 payments. 1 new member. For every new member you add through new club charter, you're bringing 2 payments. So that was the relevance that I wanted to highlight. Okay, thanks for sharing that, Bidyut. Okay. Now, while we talked about the Eat the Frog, I quickly wanted to, I've been asking questions. I've been asking you to ask questions throughout the meeting. I just wanted you to remember 2 names at the end of this presentation. One is your club growth director. For everything that you have heard right now and you think, what did this lady even come and tell? I have no idea. I forgot this. Or she was talking about something like this. Or if you feel, no, you know what? I feel like this is a smarter thing to do. There is a lead here. How can I nail this here? Who can help me with this conversation for an introductory meeting? I need goodies for a demo meeting. I need role takers for a demo meeting. Anything like this. If you want, these are the 2 names that I like for you to remember during this meeting, Varun and Bidyut. They should be your go-to people for this challenge that you have accepted. Becoming a district officer is already very, very prestigious a thing, but imagine chartering a club early in the term and becoming even more sought after as a district officer. So I wish you the very best that Toastmasters can offer. I'm going to stay back here because I know that I have like super overshot the time, but the activity is something that I'd like to do outside of the workshop right now. Like I said, the hand holding will be done by the extension team. So you don't have to worry about the paperwork. The activity was just for you to familiarize yourself that these are the things that you need to put it on document and paper as well. So I'm going to hand it back to Varun right now, but we will stay back and we will do the charter paper activity as a fun thing just outside of this meeting, if that's okay with you. Thank you for the opportunity. Back to you, Varun.
Wow. I think after our online realm, we have some of us who have been attending online meetings have forgotten how the applause sounds. I request at least whoever is possible, please unmute and applaud so that Vanitha can also hear the applause. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wait, am I the only one who heard my applause? No one else applauded.
We did.
Yes, they did. I think I've applauded on behalf of entire District 92, the entire officer group that is here and the members, our growth enablers who are here. Thank you so much, Vanitha, for that comprehensive session. And I call it the critical session. And definitely, I think all our leaders and our members are up for that 120-day challenge, and not just 120-day challenge, but 365-day challenge of adding, more clubs to our district. And I fully agree with you. And I only want to say that you must have seen a lot of quotes. Variety is the spice of life. So I think by adding newer clubs, you are adding more variety into our district, and each club added is going to add so much more into your area and your division ecosystem in itself, right? So imagine 2 sponsors, 2 club mentors, a buddy club, and so many role takers for the demo session. So imagine the experience you're going to create for your club members of your area and division and beyond. So I think, Vanitha, it's really a pleasure being part of your workshop. It's truly experiential is what I want to say, because it is not just one way, but you involved everyone, you engaged everyone. And I think the most effective Toastmaster leaders, what they do, as I've seen in the past 9 years, is just remind you what you know and try to awaken you for a few things that you don't know. So please give us 2 minutes. We had, as Nitya Vanitha has said, we have a couple of new set of awards for the District 92 for our members and leaders. So I will just take 2-3 minutes of your time to present the slides, and then we can immediately get on to our breakout room activity. Vanitha, may I please present it before you can go ahead? Thank you so much. Please give me a second. I'm sure you should be happy with this. I'm working on a desktop, so please bear with me. Yes, hope you're all able to see the screen. Do give a confirmation. Can anyone please unmute? And
Yes, Varun.
thank you so much. So we have new awards being added. So ignore the proposal. I think our club growth director and our district director have agreed. So this award, if you remember, was there 2 years ago, and our CGD has graciously agreed to continue it, called Leader Award. So any member of District 92 is eligible for this. Any member who identifies a club lead in the territory of District 92, we have a map given out by TI. We have the pin code. So any doubts, you can reach out to us. You can reach out to me in the club extension team or our club growth director. The club needs to be chartered in 2023-24 program year. Also, some of you might have already received the Notify a Club Lead form. We will once again share it on the group. I mean, in the chat, so that you can share it with your members as and when they think of a lead and they see that there is a potential. Let them fill the form. Let them fill with whatever details they have, and then that will at least get us started. That will put a name to a club, a face to a club, as it were. And then the member can also request. I mean, in the sense, we would be ideally we would want that member to be a club sponsor, someone who notifies the lead. But if they say, okay, look, I am already on that journey, I have already done sponsor role, I don't mind giving it to others, then definitely they can, the ADs and DVDs will look for other sponsors, but we would want them to be club sponsors and be actively involved in the club chartering process. The deadline is 30th April 2024, and for those identifying leads or clubs chartered after this deadline, then trophies will be delivered to their homes. So we are very happy to announce that Leader Award is sanctioned by our CGD and DD. And sorry, I think that was a repeat. Yeah, so I just want to say that in case no, you can ignore this. Everyone notifying the lead and getting it chartered, there will be trophies. Vidyut, please correct me if I'm wrong.
So Varun, if you could go back to the previous slide.
Yes, please.
So there is also the Leader of the Year award. We were talking about the Leader award, but the Leader of the Year award is for an individual who brings the maximum number of club leads in District 92 with a criteria of a minimum of 3 club leads, right? This is something we're looking at. So the person who proactively works and supports us to bring active club leads to District 92 with the condition that the club lead should also get converted into new clubs which get chartered in the current program year. We have the Leader of the Year title, which will be awarded to the individual at Coronation 2024. Thank you, Varun.
Thank you so much. Sorry for the oversight, Vidyut. I think this shows that the power of asking, because if you ask, sometimes you'll get more than what you ask for. This is purely from Vidyut's table. So thank you for that, Vidyut. I asked for one award, and Vidyut has sanctioned 2 even without me asking. Thank you, Vidyut. Last but not the least, we have something called Growth Pioneer Award that DTM Vanitha was talking about. It is the eligibility is for our district officers, the area director or division director of District 92. A club needs to be chartered. This is what DTM Vanitha was talking about in the first 120 days, that is by 31st October 2023. And the first 8 clubs that are chartered in this program year are to be considered. Please remember the time has already begun, 30 days done. So I think we are on the go. The AD/DVD must have played an active role in chartering of the club, regardless the source of the lead, whether it is coming from TI, whether it is coming from the CGD office, or whether any of your member has identified or you have identified it. The club should renew for April to September 2024 renewal cycle during the second term renewals, which is very important. The idea is to have as many distinguished clubs, new clubs to be distinguished. Then the AD/DVD must cooperate in setting up systems to convert future leads into clubs. I think we found that very important, critical, because it's not about one, chartering one club as DTM Vanitha has driven. It's the mindset of chartering the club. So we are awarding, we would like to reward not just that result, but the mindset as well. Please remember, the deadline is 31st October 2023. Considering charter of 8 clubs, the CGD and I are optimistic that yes, we will definitely go ahead with 8 clubs charter by that time. And the reward will be a trophy, a trophy for the division director if more than one of his or her area director charters a club, and 1 trophy for each AD. So they will be rewarded, they will be awarded during Coronation 2024. And yes, Vidyut, can I go ahead and present the next slide?
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Thank you. So yes, as DTM Vanitha said, thank you very much, DTM Vanitha, for the recommendation. Currently we are thinking of shipping 100 gift articles per division. They will be with our Toastmasters branding. So the gifts will be for the role players in each demo. I know the DVDs and ADs who are thinking, what about us? Don't worry, we are also doing it for the demos which have already been concluded. It is an incentive for participation and contribution to club charter. Gifts can also be given to the spokes of the organization, the ones who have run around. They have tried to bring a lot of members for the demo, from their organization, or they have helped facilitate this demo. You can give it to them, and also to the guest table topic speakers that DTM Vanita was talking about. At least, when they take it home, when they take a pen or, anything home, they'll know, what, I think it was not, it was really nice. And why don't I become part of the Toastmaster fraternity? So that can be their, this one. And we are also thinking of having pamphlets printed to be distributed at not just a demo meeting, but also the social events. Some of you spoke about college fairs and corporate events. It's really great. And I think one, thought I had is, please try to generate leads by getting at least a 2 to 3 minute slot in some of these events, so that people get to know more about Toastmasters and they know the presence of Toastmasters. And this helps in building TM brand and identifying new members and club leads, both in addition of members and clubs. And these pamphlets will basically have the important contacts from the district, the DVD, probably the DVD AD, the trio, and the members of the CGD team. And the benefits of TM will be printed in a very minimalist design, not bombarding them with information. And yes, I'm sure you all have our Club Growth Director's number. DTM Vanita also presented a slide with my contact and email. And let me also tell you that I have 3 members as part of my extended team. That is Toastmaster Nagaraj Patil for Beyond Bangalore, Toastmaster Nitesh Ambuj for our corporate clubs, and Toastmaster Om Kumar Patra for our college clubs. And please, I will take the permission of our CGD to make another announcement that we are looking for a member to join our team to look at community clubs, not just in the Whitefield area, but in a huge unexplored area of North Bangalore, right? There are a lot of communities in Yelahanka, Hepal, and anywhere in between towards Devanhalli, etc. So we would want someone, currently I am, looking at it, but we would love to have someone to be part of it. We are also sharing that link here. That's it from my end. I would now, yes, thank you so much, Vidyut. Vidyut has shared the link to be part of the CGD extended team. I will, yes, Toastmaster Rajeshwari, before I hand it to DTM Vanita.
Same question, Vanita.
Okay, so for the club coach, you still have to wait.
Yes.
Wait a little bit, Rajeshwari. Are you okay to wait a little bit?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to quickly share my screen right now. And this is where whoever has done this exercise in your in the breakout rooms, tell me what you found was glaring, what was different.
Date format was wrong on the top.
Okay, excellent.
MMDDYY. So that was one. The other thing is, it's a question. It's not a issue. So the club sponsor, there is only one. So that's what Sai asked. Is it okay to have one? But it says up to 2. So it's more of a question to know. Is it okay to have one, or should we have always have 2?
Fantastic. It's okay to have one, but why waste this opportunity? And this is where we want all 6 of these particular club names to be filled. So every area director, you might maximum charter 1 or 2 clubs. So ensure all your clubs are a part of the charter form 1, which is having 2 sponsors, which will ideally be an area director, definitely. If the division director is also involved, if the person who's sharing the lead is also involved in getting members and things like that. So I think this is an easy thing. I've never seen a form having only 1 sponsor, because everybody fights for this before charter, paperwork part. This is never usually kept empty, but good catch there. It's good to fill all 6. Now, you should know that you can change the club mentor, but within 60 days of the club being chartered. So in case you feel somebody is not working to the expectation, which is why every area director needs to keep in check with the club mentors. If you feel they're not giving enough, quickly within a 1 month itself, change the club mentor so that somebody else will get the credit opportunity. Okay, moving on to Form 2. What was glaring? What was... Come on, everybody went and did this activity in your breakout rooms. No idea? Some big numbers, payments. It's not
charter
that
fee is
hard.
applicable, right? Charter fee is applicable, right?
Okay, so the charter fee 125 is missing. Very good catch.
Vanita, can we also display the form, because we haven't gone through other forms, so we will also know.
Hey, am I not sharing my screen? Are you not able to see the
You're
screen?
sharing the screen, Vanita.
Yes.
We are able to see it.
I have displayed the form.
Can
I'm
you
showing
please-
you Form 2 now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, cool. Tell me what else is different. This you should actually know a little bit of Toastmasters to understand what's the catch. It's not payment related. It's some number that is mentioned here. Come on. Okay, so you should know that out of the 20 members that are allowed to get chartered, you are allowed.
Sorry.
What? Hello? Yes, Tejas.
Sorry, I was just saying that the dual member here is written. So they do not consider as a new member, is it?
Okay, so you are only allowed up to 3 dual members in a new club charter. You cannot have 4 dual members. The maximum dual members that are allowed to be a part of a new club is only 3, which means this math is wrong, and so all the rest of the math is incorrect. Did that make sense? The other thing was that the $125 is not mentioned here. Okay, moving on to third, Form 1 of just one particular person. What was wrong here? This applicant's name was Jenny George. What's wrong here? The idea was not to make you this thing that you have to find out the fault. The idea was just for you to see the form at least once before you get into chartering. That's all. So don't worry so much about it.
Phone number, no? Home phone number, Vanita.
Okay.
Then 080 something has to be there, right? Maybe it sounds silly. I don't know.
No, it's not, because they will not mind whatever you put in here. They will just enter that and they will put it on your records. So that's not, but yeah, good catch of like there are 2 times the country code is there. But okay, let me give you a hint of, it's got
Vanita,
something
what we thought was this one. So the renewal, from when we start the option, the month, that would matter to how much fees is paid. So it's not necessarily 45.
Okay, good point. Here, actually, you would collect, irrespective of when the club is chartering, you collect 6 months. For all new club charter, you would collect 6 months. So 45 or 60 is mandatory. And when the term finishes, they will collect the difference amount for the next, until the cycle is done. So that's a good point, but not relevant here.
So it's about the dual membership and is paying $20 membership fees. Is it because of that?
That is correct. So if you see the membership type here, it's a dual member. Dual member means you are already an existing member. So I don't have to charge you $20 here. So the new member fees will only be $45. And so it'll go back and you'll add that to the membership, this thing. Good catch there. What's the Form 4? What was weird in the Form 4? This is all club officers. Come on. Okay, so let me tell you the minimum officer criteria. Okay, you should know this so that you can find faults with the form. So while it is a good practice to have all 7 names on the club officers, the club should at least have president name, mandatory, one of the vice presidents, any of the vice presidents, and either secretary and treasurer or secretary. So club president and secretary is mandatory. Okay, that we have, right? President and secretary name is mandatory. What is missing here?
VP.
VP.
There is no VPE at all. There is no VP. Any of these 3, education, membership, or public relations, one of them should have been filled. So that's the fault here. All right. This next one, this you should know the context of everything else. But let's see who gets this one. Form 5 is about club meeting information.
For this one, the one thing that we could discuss was club website should not be the firm's website.
Meeting day, it should be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, something. It's written tomorrow.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, so meeting day is not this thing. It should be one of the days of the week. Club website, it's okay to have this information here. Remember, whatever you put in form 5 is what on Club Central, club contact and information. So what you put here is what will come there. Then when a club searches for your club and find the club, then all these details will come up there. Okay, something else. One other small catch. The date format, again, we goofed up on purpose. Okay, they have come back to this. So you think it's so insignificant, but they will come back. Your paperwork will be waiting with Toastmasters International for 10 whole days. After 10 days, they'll come and say, fix your date format and come back. And then you will take another 10 days for the forms to be reviewed. So these are small but very significant things here. Okay, last thing that I want to check, and this you should have known all the forms to know what this is. What is this? What is the mistake in this form?
The first one, if you go up, it shows of which up. I'm fine group Toastmaster Club of which area and which area it should be mentioned over here.
Okay, actually no, Sandeep, because at this point you don't know your alignments. So it is of just the city and this thing. That is correct. Something else. There is
signature, not the name there, right?
Oh, that is okay. There's a digital.
Okay, that is actually okay. Typing the name
on the top. Do hereby certify that on the day.
So that formatting should have been done properly. Correct. 17th day of the 6th month of 2023. Okay, that's a good one. What else? Somebody who saw all 6 forms will find out the problem with this. Let's say there's some continuity check.
I think again VP is missing here. 4 names of.
No, I think
No, there are only 2 signatures required. No.
What is George the president?
Okay, so there is no VP required in this form at all. Madhu, did you find it?
Yes, I think
yes, I did, Vanita. President was Alfie Martin and
nice. So if you see the rest of the forms, the president it's a continuation issue. They have signed it incorrectly. So the club secretary is Gregory George and the president is Alfie Martin. If you go back to form 1 to 4 to everything, you'll be able to see this. Good one there. Last form.
So the new member fee in this is mentioned as 10. It should be 20.
So that was one, and on the top, the checkbox is missing. So that's what I saw, that should be restricted to alumni faculty network. That was missing. And in the explanation, they said only students. So that is a conflict that I see.
Yeah. So very good catch here. It should be restricted. That is not checked. It's only mentioned there. And the same thing should be, it should be the same information that you give here also. The catch here about this 10-member fee, this is actually over and above this amount includes the payment for international membership dues. So this should be over and above. The amount should always be 20 or 20 and more. So 10 is incorrect. Did that make sense?
Yep. Yes. And if you go to additional officer section, here also checkbox is done, but no information is provided there.
Yeah.
But that is okay in case you're mentioning saying associate, VPE, parliamentarian, something like that, you will have to add those information also. All right.
But we need VP, one of the VPs, right? We need to mention that, right?
No, this is additional officer role.
Okay.
This is associates if you choose to have any. All right. So this exercise was literally just to get you familiarized with the form so that the first time you open it, you're not really looking at it and just wondering what was that. So it was just supposed to mean just some kind of interaction with yours. I'm here for a few more minutes before I take Rajeshwari's question on club coach, which I'm guessing Vidyut will answer. If you have any questions on the workshop, do ask.
So on the last form that you opened, the Roberts Rules of Order, they have not checked and they put NA for that. Is it okay that we say that we don't follow any rules? If it is not Roberts, something else should have been followed, right? The last point.
Yeah, actually, by default, they expect you to follow the parliamentary procedure of Robert's Rules of Orderly New Revised.
Correct.
If they're not, then you should highlight this also. My bad, I forgot to mention about this. You're
So
there.
some rules should be there, right? I follow
Yes,
this kind
similarly,
of
something else should have been identified as parliamentary
Correct.
procedure.
It should not be NA.
NA is incorrect. That is correct, Krishna. Thanks for
Yeah.
pointing that out.
Okay.
Vanita, I just want to say that people who have not done Netflix and chill, it's nothing less than a binge-worthy session. I truly mean it, because we just lost track of time. Thank you so much. Instead of you binging, you're seeing new characters here. At least some characters after a long time.
No, and great characters. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I would just like for some more people to be on video, because full time I'm showing you my face. I'm not seeing everybody's face. But again, thanks for everyone who turned it on and off in the meantime. I'm just glad that I came back to Mother District and I got this opportunity. So thanks Vidyut and thanks Varun for the opportunity.
Thank you, Vanita. Can I
Thank
ask
you so
Vidyut?
much, Vanita. Thank you so much, Vanita, for that wonderful workshop. And thank you so much, everyone who took out time during a Sunday afternoon to be here with us for this workshop. I'm sure that all of you will serve as growth enablers for the district and help us to build new clubs, and while continuing our support to the existing clubs and add to the count of the clubs which we have in District 92. So officially we come to an end of the session, but we'll stay back for some more time, at least me, Varun and Vanita. If Vanita, if I ask you for your permission, if you could be available for some more time, if there are some additional questions. Otherwise, we come to an end of the session. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Those who have some questions, please feel free to stay back and we can answer those questions. Thank you so much, everyone.
One reminder, please do turn on your videos. I'll try to take a snap of the remaining.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
We had
That would be really great.
At a good strength of 50. So please, thank you so much. Yes, I just need 4 more windows to go.
Call out to Chitra. Chitra.
I cannot turn on, sorry.
Thanks. It's done, Varun.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you're muted.
Varun's showing a thumbs up. Yes, it's done.
Yeah. Thanks
you.
so much to Vanita, Varun, and Vidyut for this session. Really got some useful insights. So
Thank you so much, Sai.
So,
And
Vanita,
thank you so much.
Thank you,
everyone.
Sai. I'm seeing you after a long time, Sai. Nice to see you.
I
Vanita leaves the
remember
room
you had
with lot of
evaluated
thinking.
my role in one of the club meetings. I feel you are pretty much part of our district only.
Thank you. I do consider myself a part of 92. First 92 always. That's where everything started. So, Krishna, you had a question or a comment?
No, I was just saying Vanita leaves the room with all of us thinking, because I was there, the mindset change also with you, right, last time. So we started to think, oh, we should start thinking differently now. There are a few things that we have learned today, which we never thought about, right? A lot of things about demo meets and don't wait for a long time, conclude it fast. So a lot of these things, yes, these are the takeaways, a lot of learnings. Thank you.